Hi Ascension family and friends. I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe. I have a lesson on the way Jesus used his power to help Jairus and his family. But before we start, I wanted to check and see if you remember our lesson from last week. What was it about? That's right. Jesus calms the storm. In the moment of fear, when the disciples ran to Jesus, he used his word to calm the unforeseen storm that really scared his people. Well, our lesson today will follow a similar pattern. We will find out just how Jesus used his almighty power to help defeat fear, including the ultimate fear of death. Our lesson picks up with a father, a man named Jairus, who's been pretty anxious lately. He probably hasn't been sleeping much, maybe not really eating much. He's worried and really afraid. His little girl is really sick. In fact, she's so sick that the experts are saying it's just a matter of time before she dies. He might be even beside himself, looking for other ways, looking for answers, for solutions. He's willing to try anything. So Jairus runs to Jesus and pleads with him. Jesus, please, will you please come with me? Come to my house. You seem to have the power to heal others. Maybe you can lay your hands on her too, and perhaps she wouldn't have to die. Maybe you can pray over her, or maybe there's still hope. Please come. Jesus has compassion, so they set on their way. As they travel, a group of men approaches, and they bring perhaps the most devastating news. Jairus, it's too late. Your daughter, she died. In a moment when all hope seems to be lost, Jesus encourages Jairus. He says, don't be afraid. Just believe, and she will be healed. They finish their journey. They get to the house. The place is packed with all kinds of people, friends and family and neighbors, and everybody's there talking, crying. It's very loud. In fact, it's so loud that Jesus makes a comment. He says, "Why are you making so much noise? She's simply sleeping." The Bible compares death to sleep quite often, and that's the same parallel Jesus is making here as well. Sleeping? How insensitive. How absurd. How can he say that? We have seen her. We know there is no way. Well, Jesus invites the grieving parents, Jairus and his wife, and takes 3 of his disciples, Peter, James, and John, upstairs to see the little girl. They walk into a room. Jesus kneels down, grabs the little girl's hand, and says, "Little girl, I tell you, get up." And as soon as those words leave his mouth, she wakes up as if she truly was sleeping. The little girl gets up. You can imagine the parents are overjoyed. The tears of mourning turn into tears of joy, of thankfulness, of gratitude. They're given another chance. She has been healed. Wow. Jesus suggests that the parents feed the little girl, as I'm sure they did. And wow, what a miracle. One of many that Jesus performed while still on earth. I wonder what those crowds thought. The crowds who were so convinced they had the answers. You just heard about a really anxious and stressed and fearful dad. Fearful ultimately of death of his child. What have you been afraid of lately? Is it something that maybe you overheard your parents talking about when they thought you were asleep? Perhaps something on the news has been bothering you. There seems to be no end to these changes that we're all living through. When will it be over? Are you scared that maybe you will never be back in the classroom with the same friends of yours? Is there another change on the horizon of you starting middle school? New teacher, new classrooms. Will I fit in? Will I find new friends? Will I be a good student and make it through okay? Is there ever a doubt as you maybe watched a grandparent pass away about what really happens? Well, no matter who you are or how old you are, Jesus comes to you with a strong, reassuring message. A promise, in fact. A promise that just the way he himself was raised on Easter morning, you too will rise to live with him in heaven forever. He gives you his word that no matter what you may be seeing, no matter how scary things might look, through faith you can still see him. See Jesus working out all things, yes, all things for your good. Friends, I hope you find tremendous comfort in that. I hope you see that all things will work out for our good. And that even the most ultimate, the scariest fear of all has been defeated. Jesus faced death, Lazarus' death, Jairus' daughter's death, his own death on the cross, and defeated it. Defeated it for you, so that you too can be with him in heaven. Let's look at our verse of the week. It comes from John chapter 14, verse 19. Here's how it goes. Before long, the world will not see me anymore, but you will see me. Because I live, you also will live. Can you say it with me? Because I live, you also will live. Join me as we conclude with a prayer. Dear Jesus, help us trust in you and not fear for tomorrow or our vacation plans that might get changed, or next school year, or what might happen when we die. Remind us of your solid promise to give us life in heaven with you forever. Help us cling to that. Amen. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic week.